Well, good afternoon. Still looking at a threat of strong storms, but mainly looking at some hail-producing storms. The rain we've had so far this today and early this afternoon, and the clouds really limited the threat for the atmosphere to produce any significant severe weather. What I've got here, this is going to be the graph model because I think it's probably handling this best of all. The HRRR model did good with the morning rain, but the HRRR model already had rain. Thunderstorms developing right now in Mississippi, and you see behind me on the radar, there's just nothing out there. And I think it's because it's overdoing the amount of convective available potential energy, the CAPE. So as you see here by 8 o'clock, the graph model, and I have even sped this up, so I've manipulated this model more to my thinking and my liking as to what I think is probably going to take place. Having storms arrive, I would say between 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock in northwest Alabama. Notice the area of Cape here, still fairly high, at least for nighttime, but it's really weak here from Huntsville down to Boaz, and it will probably not increase. So we have this corridor here of the highest instability, and that coincides with where the thunderstorms are at that time. So primarily looking at some large hail. A lot of lightning with these storms tonight, and keep in mind there could be more out there. We're going to get into this just a little bit more in a second. But as we go through tomorrow, all of this shifts to the east into Georgia, and I say all of it. I mean, the thunderstorm chances overall move east rather quickly, and we have a pretty nice Friday and early Saturday. As we still wrestling with the Saturday forecast, I'll have that coming up on 48 News at 4, 5, and 6, and again at 10. But as far as the energy helicity index, it is very low. The low-level jet stream is not high at all. That's good. That means very, very unlikely to see a tornado out there today. The primary threat would be some larger hail, and I really think that's confined to the northwest corner of the state later tonight. So these values are not impressive at all, so that is good. That's 11 o'clock tonight as the storms arrive. Keep in mind, the storms could arrive earlier, so we're going to discuss that right now as we take a look here. The temperatures are probably spot on with this particular model here. This is the graph model. It does have some development farther to the east, a continuation of that, and that will only help matters as far as keeping the air stable, especially over northeast Alabama. Now, here's where I've kind of manipulated this data. It has this storm arrival much later, closer to midnight, and then continuing through 6 a.m. But I really think we're going to see it develop a little sooner. But the HRRR model already has this area I've circled here in blue, already has this painted with numerous scattered showers and thunderstorms at 7 o'clock. So I am going to continue to monitor that, but it's also way overdoing the instability, and it's been doing that. So a lot of these, what you may hear the word CAMS models, there's a lot of high resolution models out there, and they have a lot of algorithms, and they really, sometimes you see other posts where people are hyping up the threat for severe weather, and they're using the most amplified, the most colorful image they can find to do that. So I don't want to do that, especially when people are planning on this. Don't want anybody to just be stressing out. But what I've done is I've kind of manipulated it and moved it in a little bit earlier so you can see 9 to 10:30. And I've actually added a little bit more to it. So I think this is probably more in line with what's going to happen. I will say, during the 5 o'clock newscast this evening, and definitely by 6, the new model guidance with this particular model will be in, so we'll kind of see where it weighs in on this. But now, again, I have kind of forward-loaded this model guidance. We could have some thunderstorms out here from Coleman to Guntersville to Huntsville by 10 o'clock as well. Notice the temperatures, though. It's quite a bit cooler. So we're rain cooled here. I think we're going to be in good shape tonight outside of a lot of lightning and perhaps some hail, at least initially, over the shoals. This quickly moves east. By 3 o'clock in the morning, I think most of this activity is going to be gone. But what you don't see here is going to be the possibility we'll have a little bit more rain as slightly cooler temperatures start to arrive. And as you go through the rest of the day, you kind of see these spotty showers here, 11:30 through about 1 in the afternoon. And temperatures get a little warmer than we've been the last few days, in fact. And then we kind of wait on Saturday night, and that's the storm system we're still wrestling with. You see behind me, that's the HRRR model. I think it's way out to lunch. It says these storms are going to blow up between 4 and 5 o'clock here Thursday. So again, if you're watching this around 4 or 5 o'clock here on YouTube, we're going to know by then. But I really just think the HRRR is way off on the timing of this, because for it to develop within the next 45 minutes. The atmosphere right now does not support these big thunderstorms yet, so something we will watch. Thanks. Be sure to subscribe. That's where you'll get this information first before I share it anywhere else.